Good evening, Professor Lazar. This is me, Peter Vandenberg, here to give speech number 3, Dear America. So, here are the people that are in my audience. Hopefully you can see my PowerPoint presentation. I'm sorry, it's a little small, but I think you can see it anyways. Alright, so let's get this started. Good evening, America. I apologize for the interruption. I'm sure you'd be far better served or more interested watching Jersey Shore or the episode of Bill O'Reilly's show that you're interested in right now. But if you could excuse my interruption for about just five minutes, I want to tell you something real quick. Okay, so first of all, your government has failed you. It was enacted for the purpose to protect the rights of life, liberty, and property, but instead it uses its power and the wealth it derives from you, its citizens, to take away these rights in these either ivory structures in Washington, D.C. This can clearly be evident by this first graph. What this is this is hard to see, but this is the national gross domestic product, and on this axis is government percentage of GDP overall, so how much government spending is of the percentage GDP. With a few blips as far as the world wars go, it'll go up steadily and steadily and steadily, and it's easy to see that it'll probably keep going up. In the next 10 or so years, you can probably predict more wars, more murder, more taxes, and all these things and less freedom. 300 years ago, our founding fathers fought a bloody revolution for the idea, that, as Patrick Henry espoused, to either liberty or death. Hard to see, that's what it says right there. Basically what I'm trying to tell you is, if you listen to me today and the things that I'm telling you, what we can do is we can avoid a bloody revolution and still keep the freedoms that we still hold dear. Let me start with a simple question. If I was to go to your home or place of business today with a gun and demand that you give me a percentage of your income, this would be thievery, correct? Now, I ask you, if when the government, every 2 weeks that you get paid, derives a percentage of your income from your paycheck, is that not the same thing? The state will claim that it is voluntary and they're using these things to benefit you, but the truth becomes more obvious when we start asking a few simple questions, such as, has the state ever asked you if they could have that money? Has they ever consulted to you how much they should take, or what services you want and which ones you don't want? No, they haven't. But it comes all more eerie when you realize the assumption that what would happen if you decided not to give the state that money? What would you say if you didn't want to give them that money? What would happen? The police would come to your house or place of business with a gun, demanding a percentage of your income that you owe the government. And if you said no, they would say, well, we're going to take you to jail. And if you said no to that and you tried to resist the police, they would beat you. If you resisted enough, they would shoot you. Now, this started happening about 100 or so years ago when the income tax was enacted, and that's how it's been for a while, but nowadays, things are a little different. This man, Anwar al-Awlaki, is an example of how if the government doesn't like you or what you think, they can just go to your house and shoot you, and without a trial, without evidence, without anything. This man was saying some things that the U.S. government did not like about the war on terror. And although he was a U.S. citizen, he never had a trial. He was just killed, and now he's dead. So, my alternative is a alternative lifestyle. It's actually far less radical than you probably think it sounds. What I think you should do tomorrow, wake up in your bed, put on clothes as usual, and instead make a goal for the entire day to not force anyone to do anything against their will. Do not take property from anyone. Do not steal. Do not defraud. Do not cheat. And help people around you. Help your friends. Help your community. In fact, invent a neighborhood watch. So the next time that someone in your community is in danger, you will not be upset when the police try to help them and have no ability to do so or choose not to. And the most important thing is the next time you see a politician or a policeman or any member of the U.S. government, see them for what they are, a criminal. This is a picture of a police officer brutally beating a person in an Occupy protest. Now, a lot of people would say that anarchy is chaos. I present to you the opposite opinion. Government is chaos, whereas anarchy is order. A lot of people, including many economists today, propound a theory called anarcho-capitalism, which says that law and order are really just goods the same way that apples and oranges are. And competition always provides a higher quality and lower price for that. Now, that's a lot of economics jargon, but really what I'm trying to say is there's no reason why the government should be a monopoly of law or of justice, because it's very bad at providing those goods. As you can see, government really is chaos because of the world that we live in. For example, this picture of a child that is watching her father's body after a U.S. soldier blew up her dad in Iraq. So I guess what I'm really trying to say at the end of the day is taxation equals slavery. War is murder. You can change words around, but they're really the same thing. And also, the state is really just a monopoly of law and of violence. And when it all comes down to it, Mr. President, I don't believe in you. It's as simple as that. I think that it's completely possible for members of society on an individual by individual basis to change the way that they treat their friends and family and people around them. And that is really all anarchy is. Thank you.